10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound, tap it in! 1 point more to go!
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
It is Media Day, Oregon Football Media Day this morning. We spent all morning talking with a number of student athletes and Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach. You probably saw and have seen a lot of media interviews. Well, this show will be no different. I will say, though, that we endeavored to do some interviews that you don't normally hear. I tried to ask some questions that you don't normally hear on a media day, and I think we succeeded. So, on today's show, Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach. Trikweze Bridges. I'm going to call him just a defensive back, one of the more versatile guys on the roster. Bennett Williams, we talked with him as well, and Christian Gonzalez, getting to know Gonzo, the transfer from Colorado, a defense focus on today's show. We also this morning talked with Byron Cardwell, Brandon Dorless, Stephen Jones, and then we had a little bit of a surprise. Braden Swinson, he came in with Jeffrey Bossa, so I said, well, Braden, why don't you take my chair? Jeff can have the comfy chair over to my left, and Braden Swinson actually interviewed Jeffrey Bossa. That's coming on the show tomorrow, and then Alex Forsyth as well. Jerry Schumacher, the Oregon track and field head coach, is meeting with the media today as well. We will have that press conference for you later on this week. I know that nobody cares at all what I think about upcoming fall camp practices, but you know who does care is Dan Lanning. We begin today. It's Oregon Football Media Day ahead of Friday's practice. Earlier today, Dan Lanning sat down with us here in the Country Financial Studio. It's officially Media Day, which means that Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach, kind enough to join us in the studio. Coach, hey, first of all, just thanks for being here. Second of all, I will endeavor to ask you some questions that you have not been asked like 50 times over the course of this onslaught. How's Media Day been? How's the media onslaught been so far?
You know, I'm obviously grateful for their coverage, and they make Oregon football so special, but I certainly enjoy being in the film room a little bit more than Media Day.
For sure. Understood. Yeah, understood. So one of these days, what we're going to do is put some film maybe up on the screen, and then you can do like actually what you want to do as part of media. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay, we're going to work on that. That's officially a Scott Phillips project here moving forward.
There you go. Let's not give away any trade secrets, though.
That's right. It's always like game review, right?
There you go.
Yeah, you know. So tell us a little bit about your summer. Just catch fans up on what you've been doing, what the team's been doing. Take us inside your schedule a little bit.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing to step away from the program a little bit, but I think it's also it's special to, one, let your strength coach run the show. And Wilson Love's done a phenomenal job with our guys this summer along with the rest of his staff. We have some really great assistants in that room. That being said, we always had some coaches here around with our guys each summer. You get an opportunity to be around them, and we certainly spend a lot of time with them. There's a lot of player-led workouts that are happening and happened for our guys this summer, and they did a great job with that. For me, it's an opportunity to make sure I'm not just saying it, I'm doing it. I get to be a dad a little bit. Obviously, you spend time on recruiting calls and those pieces, but like I said, I got to go see the coast. I got to go to Bend and just be around the great state of Oregon, and I don't know if there's a better place to spend a summer than right here.
You're speaking the truth. Everybody always goes on vacation from the Pacific Northwest in the summer, and I'm fine with that because that means we get a chance to enjoy it a little.
I left a little bit, and I'll be honest, that was a mistake. It's hot, it was humid, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, why am I not in Eugene right now? That's where I need to be. So we are readjusting all future summer plans to make sure that Oregon's a big piece of that.
I like that. Well, okay, here comes maybe the first question that you haven't been asked yet. I'm going to be a father for the first time any day now.
All right.
August 12th is the due date. For all I know, as I ask you this question, my phone might ring and my wife might say, you got to go, in which case
right.
Jimmy Stanton's taking over the interviews moving forward for the rest of the day. You got any fatherly advice for me? What should I know going into this thing?
All right, so I don't know how deep I can go, but here's one thing that I always negotiate. I got 3 boys.
Okay.
And my wife's awesome. Sophia's, the best. But when she went through that stress of having the baby, I always made the deal with her. Look, I'm gonna change all the meconium diapers, and anybody that's a parent, they know what that is. That's like before they start to.
Yep.
And I don't know
That's
if we were
right.
even supposed to say this, but it's before they start to like have normal.
That's right. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Which no one realizes how good a deal that is, right?
Okay.
Because once you get through those early diapers, you're clean and clear, for long. I mean, those only last for a few days.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
was in charge of, the early diapers, and then once that was done, I for the most part, didn't have to be too involved in the diaper changing, which is a big plus.
Interesting. Okay. Matt Ulmer, your counterpart for Oregon volleyball, told me just don't crack any jokes during the birthing
Do
process.
not do that.
Okay.
And I'll say this, we regardless of your stance, my wife had an epidural for the first one, and I was like, well, that wasn't that bad. And for the second, for our son Niles, the anesthesiologist didn't show up.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was like the movies. That was like, you always see the movies that are pregnant, and it's intense. And I remember I told my wife to calm down. Do not tell your wife to calm down during labor. That is not a good idea.
Good to know. I've written down some notes. I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared. And I love asking coaches that question too, because many of you are parents, but you're also father figures to a lot of individuals. How special is that for you in this coaching realm? Just sort of the off the field piece. And there's obviously a lot of stuff that's gone on various teams that you've coached, including this one. Just how special is that for you?
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the profession. I'm even sitting here this morning, I got a text from a former player that I haven't coached since I was at Sam Houston State or Memphis. There's just a lot of guys that you get to be connected to, and it's those lifelong relationships. I think I've said it several times, but when I was hiring coaches, I was looking for guys that can develop real relationships and develop players. And that's the best part of this deal.
So you talked a little bit about the team bonding over the course of many of these interviews. So you guys went rafting, you went paintballing, you played cornhole. What did we miss anything else?
So the rafting was just the coaching staff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rafting was just
the real
coach.
bonding.
That's the real bonding there. It can't be manufactured, right? But this game, like I said, it's a hard game, and we're certainly not out here singing Kumbaya every day. We're putting in a lot of hard work, but I think the genuine connection happens away from the football field. It doesn't just happen just on the football field. So we try to find some unique ways to capitalize on that.
Who was the best paintballer?
Ope really impressed me out there. Okay. Now, I'll say this. In my experience in previous times playing paintball, when you get shot, you're out. I don't know if Ope operates like that. So when Ope gets shot, he just continues to move forward and shoot more. I think everybody was laughing at me. The first time I got shot, I ran up and I got shot, and I put my gun up in the air and I was out.
Right.
And then to me, this is when people stop shooting.
Oh.
On our team, apparently this is when you shoot more.
Okay, sure.
And so I got sprayed a couple times after I was out, and then I said, okay, I guess we're playing where we don't get out. Or maybe the head coach was a target. That might be.
It's possible.
That might be the case in this situation.
When you were playing, would you have taken the opportunity to fire at the head coach?
Oh,
there?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That
yeah.
makes sense. You've talked a lot about growth mindset, and that I feel like starts with some of this off the field bonding. That's why I asked you about it. Where did the growth mindset idea come from? How have you kind of fostered that in your coaching?
No, I just lean on a lot of different people from my past experience. I think if I learned anything, from guys like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, it was, you learn just as much from your wins as you do your losses. And if you're a real competitor, you're going to find things that you did wrong in your wins. And I've always called it going to the doctor. We're going to go to the doctor. We're going to figure out what we did wrong. And we're going to take the medicine, hopefully, before we get sick, right? And the thought process there is just you want to get it before it gets you, and I think that's just the way we want to operate. the enemy of great is good enough, right? And we never want to live in that world.
All right, I do have to ask you a question that everybody's going to want me to ask you, even though you've been asked it about 50,000 times. Anything new on the quarterback battle?
Nothing new.
Who was the better cornhole player of all the quarterbacks
The best cornhole player I've seen in person is Jay Butterfield.
Okay.
It's a special talent.
But who knows if that translates to anything other than cornhole?
He's pretty dang good at cornhole. I've got his counterpart. There's an analyst on our staff, Connor Boyd, who's really good at cornhole. We found that out on the coaches retreat. So that's part of, when you go away in these moments, you figure out what people's skill set is. And Connor Boyd is a great adversary there for Jay.
Talk about the positional depth of your team. Just how comfortable are you with your depth chart heading into fall camp? What are some positions that you're excited about?
I feel really confident that we have players that we can play winning football with. We have more depth at some positions than others. Obviously, the offensive line has a lot of great experience. I'm excited to see those guys continue to gel well and be a strength for our team. I think everyone knows we have some really good linebackers that can play, and I feel a lot better about our defensive line depth too. Now approaching the season, looking at the spring, it was a little bit something that was nervous, but adding some pieces there. Running backs, obviously a really talented group. But I think you just look across the board, whether it's where it's at. I feel like we have winning football players really at each position: tight ends, wideouts, DBs. We've got the ability to be successful at all those spots.
Following up on the D-line coach, there is a lot of experience. Some at Oregon for many years, others at other places, but you've got a lot of experience on the defensive line. Just zeroing in on that group a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I just mentioned it with Dorless. I've been really excited about his leadership and what he brings. I think he's one of the more unheralded players in this conference. I'm really excited. Really our outside linebacker kind of DM position there with DJ Johnson as a guy that really showed out in the spring. And I continue to look for him to get better and have a big season. But really just getting all those guys healthy. Popo, and Keon, all these guys that went through some injuries, and then bringing those new pieces in as well. Excited to see where it goes. So certainly not those only guys alone, because it won't be that. It's going to be, again, if you're good enough, you're old enough, we're going to roll people to have a role on that defensive line in that front, but I think we have the guys to do it.
I look too in the secondary, coach. It seems like you've got so many guys that are so versatile. Just how key is that for you, for your entire defense, that versatility piece?
Yeah, we want to be able to play our best 11, right? And to do that, you have to have guys that understand and are able to play in multiple positions, right? Because your next best safety might also be your next best corner, right? And you want to make sure you're able to incorporate them and utilize that. So we have a group that I think is really savvy. They're doing a good job of picking up our scheme. There's certainly a lot of room for growth. We're not there yet. But that versatility is what allows you to play winning football when an injury happens or there's a change in personnel.
Offensively, there's always such a focus on the quarterbacks, but you talked about running backs there and the skill positions, the offensive line, the experience. Just assessment of the offense. How do you feel heading into fall camp?
Yeah, good, but also excited that we have a lot of practices between now and game one. I think every position group and every side of the ball feels the same way. We've got a lot of work to do. We're certainly not there yet, and there's a reason you have practice one before you have game one.
Right. Take us through the practice schedule. How do you approach fall camp? How do you attack this thing over the next few weeks?
Yeah, because of the fact that you can have some of these installs in the spring and the summer that we've been able to attack, I don't feel like we're coming in probably a little bit more advanced than some places. And it's not as much of a learning curve. That being said, the goal is to play fast and physical early on. You'll ramp it up as far as going from, helmets to shoulder pads to full pads. We're going to try to get a couple scrimmages in here in early fall camp and really see where we're at, assess our strengths and our weaknesses, but ultimately, roll your sleeves up and go to work.
I do want to ask you, too, just about the tragedy that you guys had to deal with. And we haven't gotten a chance to talk with you about that yet, but you've been asked it a lot. Just give fans the summation, if you could, of thinking about Spencer Webb. And I know this is going to be a year where a lot of times people are going to be thinking about him.
Yeah, I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't think about Spencer in our program. In fact, I know there isn't. And we want to do a great job of honoring him. I've said it several times that, he's a guy that lived a life, even though it was 22 years, he lived a life that impacted people. And I think every one of us can only hope to impact as many people as Spencer has in a positive way. And we certainly want to do a good job of honoring him this year.
You do a lot of these. So the last question I'm going to ask you is, what do you wish I had asked you in the last 11 minutes?
at Media Day, I got one question about movies. I'm kind of a movie guy,
okay.
or at least I used to be. I don't get to watch them anymore, but yeah, maybe in the future we can talk a little bit about favorite movies.
Greatest, like what the Mount Rushmore of movies.
I don't know, top 5 or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Noted. We'll do that next time. So. Dan Lanning, movie critic, film critic.
I don't know about that.
Well, but film critic, that's every
film
coach,
critic,
right?
Film critic, yeah.
That is now a multi-definition phrase.
That's
for
right.
you, I think. So thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so now that's on my list for the first Coaches Show here coming up is what are the top movies of Dan Lanning? And, if he's a film critic, maybe it's the top football games he's coached because then he's critiquing that film as well. Multi-definition. It's our Media Day special on Duck Insider. We continue next. Trikweze Bridges joins us in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, and we're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. It's Oregon Football Media Day. We had a ton of student athletes in earlier today. Won't get to all of them on this show. Come back tomorrow and Friday. But we do have, beginning with Trikweze Bridges. We're going to zero in on the defensive backs today. Trikweze Bridges, Bennett Williams, Christian Gonzalez. Trikweze was the first guy to come into the studio this morning. We had a lot of fun catching up with the Oregon defensive back, Trikweze Bridges. All right, I'm going to ask a funny question to start first as Trikweze Bridges joins us. How many people in your life say your name wrong, and how many people do you have to correct over the course of your life?
Majority of people I have to correct. So, I get a lot of Trikweze, Trikweze. Even my grandfather, he called me Wheezy. So, I'm kind of used to it. But I used to, ask myself, why is my name like this? But I love my name because it's very unique, and the way it was created, it was it's great. So my name is Trikweze, and I'm the third child on my dad's side, so that's how I try. And they were just been different with the way they spelled Quez, because normal people spell Quez, but mine is Kweze. So Trikweze it is.
I like that. Hey, you got to have a unique story, right?
Yep,
and
right.
So you've got that unique story. You know, one thing that we ask every time someone comes into the studio for the first time, and I did not warn you that I was going to ask you this question. Okay, I've got a stopwatch running here. You have to tell your 2-minute life story. And go.
All right, so I'm from Lynette, Alabama. My my schools, my area's population is very small, and we just it's very the hospitality is very good. So I grew up in a neighborhood called Jackson Heights Projects, and all we do is just like play football, basketball, barefoot, and everything. We used to come home with toenails about gone. I mean, it was a great tight relationship. Community small. My graduation class was like 40 people.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was very hard getting out. Just like having resources and getting out of stuff and stuff like that. Well, like me in football, I kind of like just like started sending myself started like researching schools that I wanted to go to, and I had to like just like send my film to them. Like I really just like search on Google like the coaches EDU, like my position coaches. I used to go find an EDU and like send them emails about myself and my film and stuff just to get myself out, because like my community, my high school, everything, we wasn't noticed, and I was just trying to do that. And I kind of like I don't want to brag about it. I'm very humble, but like I see a lot of guys from my school and stuff like this, like getting those opportunities that I had, and I'm kind of like first time like I pat myself on the back because just like
you did it.
Yeah, because I want to see a lot of people. I want like people to know about my city. I want to like just like be able to like just say yes, like we can do it too. Like there's a lot of things that go on. There's like a lot of bad things that a lot of kids don't need to see, and a lot of kids need to be able to feel like they can get outside of the net and do more things. So just like I want to figure more things out to better my community, and just like have more things for the kids in the community as well.
I love that. Also, you did that in 1:56. That was well done. Yeah. That was well done. That was good
and you hit me off guard with that, so like
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. So we have a leaderboard. So we keep track of like who gets the closest to actually 2 minutes, and that was like probably top 10.
Okay.
That was pretty good. So if you weren't playing football, would you be playing basketball then? You mentioned that as one you played growing up.
Yeah. So I have 3 rings, 3 state championship rings in basketball. Under Coach Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I would be playing basketball if it wasn't that. I wish I kind of like focused a little bit more as a young child at baseball, because I don't understand why it makes so much money in MLB, but yes, but like I feel like it's simple, but like when the ball coming as fast like 95 miles per hour is crazy. Like it's a very unique game, like just like hitting a ball at that type of speed. So
there's going to be a baseball player now that's going to say, hey, you can come out to PK Park anytime.
I'd love to go out there and just like participate, because like I feel like I'm an athlete. I can play any sport. It's just probably taking me a day or two just like to figure out what to do in that sport. But the only thing I have a challenge with is like soccer. I cannot dribble.
So the hand-eye coordination is good, but the foot-eye coordination not your thing.
Yeah, you got to see where you're going, and
Okay.
I'm not the best.
Makes sense. Well, I guess it makes sense then with your hand-eye coordination. We were just talking before we recorded that you're going by Hawk these days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where'd the nickname come from?
I'm tied with the state record of 36 interceptions in my high school state record. So my coach's wife, Miss Christian Story, she was like, every time I catch a pitch, she was like, ball hawk, ball hawk. So like ever since then, I was just like stuck with it, and like I call myself the Hawk now, because like the things that like the code comes with it, and like now it's like I'm so into birds, and like every time I look in the sky, I look for a hawk. And recently, I have a video. Recently, I was in I went back home last week, and a hawk just flew in and just like landed on the light pole, just like chilling there, because like it was like some small bird. I don't understand why small birds attack big birds.
Yeah.
And so they was just like picking at them, and I kind of just like I don't learn how to like make the sound of like a hawk and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool and stuff. So yes, I kind of feel like I am the Hawk, and this season, if you don't understand why I'm the Hawk, they call me the Hawk, you will find out. So I'm waiting for you guys to see that.
I like that. You know, one of the reasons I think that you've been so successful, in my opinion, is your versatility. You've been able to play different positions. How much pride do you take in that, being able to move around in the secondary?
It's a blessing, honestly, because like it's not a lot of people can do that with like just like learning like the plays and stuff like that. And me able to like learn the plays and be able to play them is, you know, I can't do nothing but thank God for it, because it is a blessing. And just like be able to just like go to safety, play safety and do those things, and then go to corner and do those things, and go to star, do those things and stuff like that. It's a great way to help the team out. And if someone go down, hopefully that won't happen, but if someone goes down and stuff like that, I feel like I can, put myself in their shoes and just like, fill those shoes out for them as well, just like help the team out and make the team a better team.
What was the what was the off season like, I should say? Working and getting ready now for your organized practices, but you guys are out there doing work all the time. I mean, you're getting better strength and conditioning program. Take fans inside that process a little bit.
So it's like me personally, I just like I want to like start on it now. Start trying to train like you're in the league or you're a professional athlete. So I try to focus on doing like training that way. So when I get there, it's nothing like that I'm new to. So it's just like that's what we're doing. But this off season have been one off season that I will remember. Like the climb has been a climb, and just like with everything's going on and like being around my brothers and having a new start, it's fun, and we're embracing this, and we're like pulling each other together, like just being connected and being as one link is good. And I honestly can't wait for the season.
Neither can I.
I
think everybody's in that boat. Right?
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
That's what's fun about it. All right, last question for you. Just what do you want the identity of your defense to be? What do you guys want to be known for this year?
Taking the ball away.
All right.
Turnover kings.
Hawk.
Yes.
The Hawk.
The Hawk.
I like that.
We all are Hawks.
Trikweze, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
It was fun getting to know the guy that is going by Hawk this year, the Hawk, Trikweze Bridges. And I will say I did not know the origin of his name. That was a really cool story to hear. I thought that was awesome. Trikweze Bridges, easy guy to root for, no doubt about it. When we come back, Bennett Williams, one of the team leaders, we're going to talk with him on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/Drug Facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. We've heard from Dan Lanning, heard from Trikweze Bridges, and next we're going to hear from Bennett Williams. He sat down with us here in the studio this morning. One of the team leaders in Bennett Williams, and man, if he was healthy all of last year, he was really coming on strong after that first month of the season. Really looking forward to seeing Bennett Williams play this year, and we talked with him earlier today. This is the first time that Bennett has been in the studio, so first of all, hey, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate you having me.
I know it's an onslaught for you guys with Media Day, right? It's like you're getting asked the same question over and over again, so I'm going to ask you one that you probably haven't been asked before.
Okay.
Every time somebody comes in the studio for the first time, and we have a leaderboard, we keep track of who gets the closest here. They have to tell their 2-minute life story.
Wow.
So it's your story. You got 2 minutes to tell it.
You got a timer for me?
I got a timer.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Set. Go.
All right. Born, raised Campbell, California. Went to St. Francis High School. Felt like I was under-recruited out of high school. Always played football, played basketball, baseball. Went to Illinois on a last-minute commitment. Played my freshman year there. Did really well. Transferred to a junior college after my sophomore year back home in College of San Mateo. Learned a lot there, kind of transformed my thinking, my headspace there, and was blessed enough to come to Oregon in 2020. And man, how my life has changed here. Played that first season. COVID season was really weird. Last season, started to break out of those first 4 games, and then ended up breaking my leg. After the 4th game, right before the Stanford game. And now, this year coming around, feeling like I'm a leader. It's my last year, and this team is looking ready to roll. So I'm real excited to see what's next on the path.
You got another 46 seconds.
Oh, I do. Okay, I thought I was. Pushing time.
You were pretty efficient. That was good.
All right, that's the life story. Part of who I am. I'm outgoing. I'm a real high energy type of guy. Love communicating with people, love connecting with people, and I feel like that's kind of where I will go after football is over. I think helping people and helping kids kind of realize mentally and physically where they can go and what they can really do with the power of their mind.
That's awesome. That was very well done. And I was going to ask you as a follow-up, have you always been a good speaker? Have you always liked doing this kind of stuff? Because, look, fans, Bennett's one of the better interviews that you ever hear on the Go Ducks YouTube or anywhere else.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always been a little bit of a talker. I feel like I have a little bit of charisma about me.
A little?
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a tad, a sprinkle. But it is fun to get up here and let that energy kind of come out a little bit, let that light shine. And I love talking. So
you want to switch seats? I mean, you could do my job.
Honestly, that might be the job for me after this is all said and done.
See,
so.
I like this. Well, if you ever want to just fill in for me or Rob on a Quack Minute, you just say the word. And
all right.
We're getting the heck out of the way.
One of these times, I'm telling you, I'm gonna come by and steal that microphone from you.
Yeah, you just do the practice report.
Okay.
I mean, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, everybody. Nobody gives a lick what me and Mose think. They want to know what you guys think.
Hey, I watch it. I watch that stuff
good.
all the time, so I love it.
I'm glad. That's helpful for us to know that if we say something stupid, then at practice we hear about it the next day, right? So, hey, I feel like versatility is something that I look at you and many others in the defensive backfield on this team, and it's like, man, there's a lot of versatile athletes. Is that a fair assessment of your group right now?
Absolutely. I would definitely say versatile is a good word. We are cross-trained at every position, like in the backfield now. Coach Lanning is making that emphasis, like, okay, we got to play. I played nickel last year, but I'm, training mostly at boundary safety. I've been taking free safety reps. We go through these these little stations, and I'm playing corner, playing linebacker. So just knowing every position and how the defense all fits together and works together, I think is the main goal of that.
Sure.
And you're getting all type of guys, not just me or versatile guys. I mean, it's everybody to make sure that we're all versatile and able to play all those positions.
You mentioned leadership, and I feel like that's something that's so difficult to quantify sometimes, like what makes a good leader. How do you approach that? You know, have you like actively thought about like this is what it means for me to be a leader on this team?
100%. And that's been a lot of my my journey is first figuring out myself and what I'm looking for, and once I am able to kind of get on that right track, then I feel like, and lately it's been like, okay, what can I do to help just somebody, even if it's just one person today, or what type of energy can I bring today? How can I help bring guys along? And it's not always about, being the rah-rah guy or telling guys what to do, as much as the subtle things, the little things, making sure guys feel seen and heard, and feel like they're important. They're an important part of this team.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that I think goes into that. I just started reading this book called The Mindful Athlete, and it is fantastic. You guys should pick up a copy, by the way. But it has so many things inside of it that have helped me develop my leadership and my own mental game to really take it to the next level and help take this team to the next level.
Who do you look up to? Like who do you look for examples of great leaders?
The first one that comes to mind is Steph Curry, and he might not be the ideal leader in some people's eyes, but the way that and we've studied the Warriors a little bit this season, the way that he carries himself, first of all, brings positive energy to every game, every practice, all the time around the organization, is super unselfish, and that's, I think, is the biggest thing, right? That he's not looking. He's a superstar, probably one of the best known athletes in the world.
Yep.
But is never talking about that. And he's, lately they won the championship. He's given a little. He's gloating a little bit. He did. He earned that. Yeah. But as far as it, comes to bringing, how he comes in, his demeanor every day, it's pretty special. How humble he is and the way he's able to lead.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I have a couple colleagues that have worked with him closely and that have worked with the Warriors, and it's one thing to have that energy publicly. It's another thing to then have it behind closed doors, right? And I think that's a great example. One of the things I wanted to ask you about your journey is when you came back from injury last year, you had to go through the year last year. I remember seeing you on the scooter at practice, and it's injuries are the worst part of sports. But I feel like the most successful athletes, they get something out of an injury like that. I feel like you're the guy that did that, you really learned something maybe during that process.
This past year has been, the most transformative in my life. 100%. Going from being that high, like, okay, here we go. This is going to be the season. I'm ready to go to the draft. And now I look, and now I look at it like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. That came at the exact right time. As much as it didn't seem like it, back then, that's exactly what I needed for me to be able to come back this year, and be with this team, this coaching staff, and not even as much that as it is being able to take care of like myself and my mental, because I went through it kind of a lot, right? That's tough. Not being part of the sport, watching it happen, watching my teammates play. That was the biggest thing for me, was able to, like, okay, sit with myself and really go through what I want and how I can, attain it. And coming back, I've come back so much stronger off this injury. And I think, battling through adversity like that really, builds up your character.
You guys are all going through some adversity this year, too. And I have to ask you about wearing number 4. I know that must mean a lot to you guys with Spencer, and that's a tragic thing. It doesn't get any worse than that.
Yeah.
How much is that impacting you? How much is that impacting this team now the rest of this season?
Yeah. It's going to be, it's on our minds every day, and in our hearts every day. And I think that's the most important thing. I think, for me, it's going to be special wearing 4. I've always worn it, but this year it's going to mean so much more. And I get to feel like, he's right there with me. The whole time, every, and that's just a reminder, right there. I get to play with him, it feels like. And, I think the whole team can attest to that. There's a different meaning behind it. It's a little more special, knowing especially how he was coming in and coming to really love football in this team. some part of me just feels like, you know, he's doing it like on purpose, and that might sound, you know, terrible, but he is looking, you know, over us right now. Like, I'm completely with you. This may be what you guys needed. This is you know, the path, and you know, as much as it hurt us all, and I know he's still there with us.
You know, it's something that unfortunately everybody goes through at some point in their life, and I feel like you talked about how you took the negativity of the injury, and now there's kind of some positives that have come from it. What a great mindset for the entire team. Right. I think I'll say thanks for being you. Thanks for being a good leader, and best of luck the rest of the season, all right? I'm going to leave you with this and ask you a little bit of a lighthearted question at the end here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I always like to ask veterans what advice would they give to, like, the freshmen, the young guys, before they start fall camp. What do they need to know before they start the gauntlet here the next few weeks?
Take your ass, excuse my French, to sleep. Go to bed.
I like that.
Go to bed.
That's perfect.
Man, like, I mean, I remember, you know, and it gets nighttime, and you're like, okay, I stay up a little bit, and then that morning comes, and it's just like, oh. But you compound that, and your body's not going to be recovering the same way. You're not going to be as sharp. You're not going to be wanting and ready to go attack fall camp like you're supposed to every single day. So I'm talking like 10 hours of sleep. Like, you should be. I mean, we need to be in bed early. And I've been telling them every time before we break it. I'm like, look, go to bed. Go to bed.
Good advice.
Shower and then go to bed.
Good advice. Bennett, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, buddy.
It was awesome.
10 hours of sleep. That's the advice from Bennett Williams. You know, I think all of us could probably take that advice from Bennett. That was a great conversation with him. And I got to say again, I just loved what he said about Spencer Webb. I mean, he's going to get that question, I'm sure, a few times throughout the course of the year. He's wearing that number 4. Handled it with such poise. It's going to be a season where it comes up a few times. Everyone's going to be thinking about it over the course of this year. When we come back, we're getting to know another guy on the defense, a new addition to the Oregon roster, and Christian Gonzalez, the guy that they call Gonzo. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry, or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry, or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Unused prescription opioid pain medicines can spell trouble. They can spell risk if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for, harm if accidentally taken by a child or pet, or overdose if they're not used as directed. Safely dispose of opioids before they can hurt your family. Find a drug take-back option such as medicine drop boxes. You may find these in your community at local pharmacies or police stations. Visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
We continue on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. It's Media Day for Oregon football. Up next, Christian Gonzalez. Got the chance to get to know the young man transferring in from Colorado. Of course, very connected to Coach Demetrius Martin, Coach Meat. He came over from Colorado with him. We got a chance to get to know the Oregon cornerback, Christian Gonzalez. First of all, it's the first time that you've ever been in the studio, so thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Does anybody actually call you Christian, or is it always Gonzo these days?
Nah, around here it's only Gonzo.
Really?
I never hear Christian.
Do you ever hear Gonzo at home, or is it always Christian at home?
At home it's only Christian.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So you got to okay, so what do we call you? Like if your family's watching this, they're going to be like, "God, Joey's not calling him his first name." Like, so what should I do here?
Nah, you can call me Gonzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Gonzo's here. Now, we didn't tell you that we were going to ask you this, and I got to tell you, I've been doing this to all your teammates. Every time somebody comes in the studio for the first time, we ask them to tell their 2-minute life story.
Okay.
We've got a leaderboard. We'll time you. If you get 2 minutes on the dot, no one's ever done it, you'll be the first one ever. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, 2-minute life story, go.
All right, so I was born in Dallas, Texas, and I'm in a family with I got 2 older sisters, 1 younger sister, and I was the youngest for 10 years, and then my little sister was born. Been playing football since I was 5, and football, basketball, track, and then got to high school, had a little I won't say incident, but like change of mind, kind of, not really, but then got the chance to go to Colorado and do what I did, and then end up here. And yeah, this is way under 2 minutes, but
it is. So I mean, but it's your story. We just give you 2 minutes to tell it. Because you gotta bear with me a little bit, because sometimes I ask people for their life story and it's 20 minutes.
20, yeah, right.
And I'm like, dude, man, like that was a long story.
Yeah.
So we always felt like 2 minutes was just the right amount. But if that's the story, that's the story.
Yes, that's me in a nutshell, basically.
Why'd you come to Oregon? I know everybody's been asking you that,
Right.
but I'm just curious. Fans want to know, why'd you come?
Yeah, I felt like it was my time to leave Colorado, and I seen this opportunity, and I knew Coach Meat was coming here. He let me know, so then, it was just like I seen the opportunity and I ran with it.
Tell us about Coach Meat. You know him better than most.
Right.
Tell us about him. What are fans going to see from him?
He's very passionate, like extremely. He's like he prides himself, like he kind of like plays through us. He's not like like I've said a lot, like I don't look at him as a coach anymore. It's like more like an uncle. Like he's somebody that's gonna be there for you when you need it. And like this past week I was moving. I just moved to an apartment and I needed to pick up a couch.
Right.
Called him up and he was the first one there to help me move with the couch because he got a big pickup truck. So just little things like that. It's just like he's not like a coach. You like feel comfortable around him. It's not like you got to reserve who you are around him.
How important is that aspect to you? I mean, I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, you just want to play at the best school. You want to play for the best coach. But there's a lot to it when you're selecting, I guess, who your mentor is going to be.
Yeah, that's really important to me. That's where out of high school I wanted to play was somewhere I feel comfortable. Like I don't want to go somewhere that's a big-time school and I didn't feel like myself and comfortable, because then I couldn't play to what I knew I could play. So it was just something that's real big for me, is the family feel, and this has definitely helped.
You were an all-conference honorable mention last year. A lot of Pac-12 fans saw what you could do. How do you define your game? What do you want to be known for?
I think I'm a better player than honorable mention, but I don't really look into all that. It's just I let my game talk. Like I don't really care for all those honors. I just want to be known like he's a good player and then even a better person.
Are you one of the guys that when you're out on the field, are you a quiet, like kind of a silent assassin, or are you a trash talker? Do you like to get in the head of the opposition?
I think I'd say I'm both.
Really?
It's like it just depends really. Like I'll talk a little bit, like a little bit of trash, like, but I usually won't start it. Sometimes I'll start it. It kind of just depends. Like
you like to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that. I mean, honestly, I've been around. I feel like a good number of athletes by now, and I feel like some of the most successful ones are that way. Like you don't need to say much because if you win,
Right.
That's ultimately what matters. So what are you looking forward to this year? You know, you're about to start the grind. We know that the fall camp's a grind. What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm just super excited just to get to the season. Like, I just remember coming here last year and playing. It's just like the atmosphere is crazy, and I already seen it for the spring game, and that really blew my mind. Just 47,000 at a spring game. That's not what I think. I don't think that's a normal thing, but it's like crazy. Just being just being in Eugene. It's just like when you're in Eugene and you're a football player, you're not even an athlete. It's just like they know. Like, it's not even about walking around being noticed. It's just like they understand like the stuff you're doing, and like it's a great feeling to be in a place that loves sports.
Do you have any like butterflies still before you play? Like, do you go through sort of like the pregame butterflies at all, or have you played in so many high pressure situations that doesn't happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, I still get nervous. Like, I think it's a good thing to be nervous to a certain extent. Like, I'm not gonna be like extremely nervous to where I can't function or anything, but you know, they say like when you're nervous, it means something. So like, I'll get nervous, but as soon as that first play of defense, I'm fine. Then it's just like back to what I know.
You know, it's interesting. In our realm, I often tell broadcasters, like, before a show, if you're not nervous, it probably means you don't care.
Right.
You know, I think it's very similar in athletics. I think it's interesting. What advice do you give to athletes that haven't been through a fall camp yet? Mm-hmm. Like, what's your advice for them?
Advice, I would just tell them to just find the little things. It's like don't look at the whole fall camp, because if you look and count down the days, it's like it's gonna take forever.
Right.
Just go day by day, and you do that. Honestly, you're gonna lose track of the days. You're not gonna know what day it is, like, just because you're doing the same thing over and over. And you know, I haven't noticed that a lot here. I think a lot of them are excited for it. So it's a good thing. I can't wait to see the young guys like go through camp, because they already know the intensity, which is impressive to me to see how quick they pick that up, and they're starting to show that at the little walkthroughs we have. And yeah.
I'll leave you with this. What do you guys want to be known for as a defense? You know, like what's going to be the defining characteristic at the end of the year when you guys are successful?
Yeah, I would say just getting the ball out, having ball excellence, just getting turnovers, lead the nation with turnovers, and being the toughest defense out in the nation. Just like nobody wants to play us. That's what we want to be known for.
Yeah. Gonzo, thanks for coming in.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Christian Gonzalez coming in from Colorado and figures to be a big part of this defense. He was a Pac-12 honorable mention last year, and I loved it when he just kind of said, you know, I think I'm better than that. Might be this year, depending on how things go over the course of the season. And you heard from all those guys playing in the defensive backfield, they want to be known for taking the ball away. Well, teams that have positive turnover margins and defenses that are very good at turning the ball over, those teams tend to win a lot of football games. When we come back, your Cafe M 2-minute drill, recapping all of Media Day, and then we'll get you set for tomorrow as we wrap up Duck Insider, our Media Day special after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. With honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be shared with friends or family. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know a lot of guys a little bit better today. We heard from Dan Lanning, Trikweze Bridges, Bennett Williams, Christian Gonzalez. On the show tomorrow, Byron Cardwell, Brandon Dorless, Stephen Jones, and then Braden Swinson interviewed Jeffrey Bossa. So we had scheduled for Jeff Bossa to come in. We were going to do our conversation like you heard with the guys earlier today. Well, Braden came with him, and I said, well, Braden, we could put you in the old Matt Court chair and we could interview you at the same time, but Braden's just got a good personality. He's a good communicator. I said, well, Braden, why don't you just do my job? So Braden actually interviewed Jeffrey Bossa. It was great. You'll have that for you on the show tomorrow. And then Alex Forsyth as well. Those are just the interviews that we did here in the Country Financial Studio. There's also going to be available on the Go Ducks YouTube channel today as the afternoon moves forward. Tons of Media Day interviews with all of the Oregon football student athletes and Dan Lanning, the Oregon football head coach. And then on Duck Insider, we'll hear from Jerry Schumacher, the Oregon track and field head coach, his introductory press conference today as well. We'll have that for you later this week on the program. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Cafe Yum always providing you with special diet requests, custom orders, menus, nutrition info, always at cafeyum.com. The takeaways from Media Day today in your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. We asked Dan Lanning if there has been any change in the last 48 hours for the quarterback position. There hasn't been. Bo Nix, Ty Thompson, and Jay Butterfield all going to be competing for that quarterback slot. One thing that I did really appreciate Dan Lanning saying, though, is that the position depth, he feels good about that. Some position groups obviously better than others, but going into fall camp, the Ducks feel good about their position depth, and I think, for the most part, the health of this roster. The Ducks are going through team meetings, some team bonding activities, and then on Friday, the first practice. Dan Lanning will meet with the media again on Friday following that first practice. I believe they're scheduled for an afternoon practice, so we won't have any updates from Dan Lanning for you on Friday's show. We will have some updates for you on Monday's show. Jordan Brenner might be here tomorrow. I might be here tomorrow. We'll find out. See you then.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www